The recent incidents of violence involving students from a few high schools is an issue of national concern. And joining us now to discuss the topic is Stewart Jacobs. He's president of the National Parent Teachers Association. Good morning, Stewart.
Morning, ladies.
Welcome
morning,
to Smile Jamaica. It's morning time. But where to begin with these incidents? I mean, we've seen the more violent ones play out, in the media. But are there more pockets of violence happening in schools than we're aware of?
Yes, there are more. There are more. It's become very, very popular now. But let me begin by saying I'm disappointed but not surprised. I saw it happening. I saw it coming. We have had a breakdown in civic society over the period. The criminals of today, the adult criminals, didn't just come overnight. There has to be an innate development. And the innate development would have started from communities, the society that they live in. Because children live what they learn. And what you're seeing is the home and the community, the villages, the hamlets that they live in playing out. We have lost somewhat the very fiber of social building and social development the right way. Let's start with the churches. The traditional churches, and when I speak of traditional churches, like the Anglicans, the Catholics, the Baptists, the Presbyterians, and the Methodists, they taught a gospel, they taught a particular lifestyle based on the Bible. The new churches that appearing all over the plazas now are preaching prosperity. And we expect that students, kids exposed to this, to go into a school situation and not speak of reconciliation, what is supposed to be taught. Forgiveness, understanding. I'm your brother's keeper, I'm your sister's keeper. It's not there. And then we expect teachers to be teaching our children to behave themselves when the curriculum as it is so strained to meet the external exams and some internal exams. Because teachers aren't trained to be pacifiers of fights.
Mediators and
mediators, they are not. They are taught to follow curriculum to impart education, the academics to our children. And the home is supposed to be teaching social graces and so on. It's not happening because a number of reasons. One, migration has caused this.
Migration is not new.
It's not new. It's not new, but when the parents went away and they left the village growing the child, but the village that is growing the child now is not a village that is embracing civic pride. You go to the stadium and the national anthem is being played and people are sitting with their kids beside them. I've had on more than one occasion I've told someone, I say, you sit down but let the child stand. Because if we don't understand where we're coming from, our culture and what it is that has brought us here, but unfortunately what has brought us here is probably 25, 30 years of a breakdown in society.
Yeah, before Simon comes in, so you said two things that I have to... You used my word a while ago, our culture, which we don't have in our curriculum in schools.
Yes, it's gone.
But also, when we rank schools, when we evaluate our teachers, it's all about academics. Is it time for us to re-examine the ways in which we evaluate who an educator really is, what schools are supposed to be doing, and that it embraces issues of social change and responsibility, and not just A, B, C plus D and F?
Totally concur. Because the society, the world that we are preparing for our children cannot be just about the almighty dollar. It cannot be about ranking our schools with who getting the most A's coming out. It should be that child who's leaving the education system, and I mean early childhood, to sector primary.
Foundation is
the key. Foundation is that you're able to engage, embrace society as it really is. It's not made up, it's not an AI society. It's a real society that you live in. You have to interact with human beings. They will hurt you, but you don't have to retaliate. You can accept sorry and forgive.
I hear teachers saying, though, Harris, we barely have the resources to teach. You want us to be social mediators as well? I mean, are teachers willing to take on that expanded role within this context of all the other things they have to do, them begging for pay,
And therefore, this cohort of teachers in Teachers College, starting in September, should have in the curriculum how to identify and to somehow act quickly as mediators, because we're going to have more lives being lost. And my heart goes out to that parent in Irwin High and those parents of the children at the other schools that were involved in the fracas. Those were caught on camera. But again, and what is not being caught on camera, what has not been reported.
Right.
And adults stand by with their cameras are not part in the fight.
Correct.
And the peers of the children who are fighting, it is who is going to get more stick on the social media.
So the adults, essentially, Stewart, what I hear you saying is that we have failed our children.
Yes, we have.
Miserably.
Yes, we have failed.
Miserably.
We have failed. And adults meaning our system, our government system has failed because the Ministry of Education needs to now look at what is happening, take a deep dive look into what is happening, and get all the experts in to shift the curriculum for the time.
How do we do that? If it's taken us 30 years to get here, you say 30 years of decay
Just about, yes.
and decline.
Yes.
We grew already, so we set in our ways and we failed
Some
our
of us.
children. So those are two premises we're going to accept. Is it going to take another generation to fix this? Another 30 years?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
But this cannot...
But in the meantime, you temper it down. It's tempered. So instead of having 50 for the year, you have 10 for the year.
Yeah.
Until it becomes, we'll go back to the 60s.
Now
and the 80s when we went to school.
How we get there? How we get to the 10?
This cohort of teachers at Teachers College, I think, should be taught
And
the
outside of
curriculum.
that, what else do we do?
I think the churches need to be more robust in what they preach. I think society, neighborhood watch, should start, instead of having neighborhood watch just to talk about the criminals to come in, but they have the children at these functions also. I think parents should start to take their kids more on cultural events. Take them to the museum. Take them to plays. Take them to the pantomime.
Okay.
Let them understand Louis Bennett.
Okay.
Let them understand what it is that all of our folk heroes really were saying to us. Let them understand what slavery is and was and how we got here. Talk to them about pre-independence, immediate post-independence, how we got here.
And Stewart, I'm going to add, I say his name every day on radio, Minister Desmond McKenzie, local government needs a community cultural plan because the children are in a community.
Yes.
And they're taking also what is happening in the community into the school.
Yes, and on the phones.
Correct.
And on the tablet.
So we have to put something in the communities as well for the children.
Yeah.
Can I get a minute though? Shauna says time, but one of the things that concern me, Stewart, is schools and boards seem to be operating in silos. Like, there was the Irwin instance, and it's in court, so I don't want to, but the allegation is there was bullying prior to. What is the policy to address bullying? I saw another parent online that said her daughter was expelled from the school, and since September, she's trying to find another school to put the child in. And I'm like, how in Jamaica can a child be expelled and then not have a school to go to? It doesn't seem to be consistent across school boards.
The Education Act is very clear, and the regulations are clear as to how you treat a child being exited from school.
Yes.
And I think what needs to be looked at is both that particular incident, both school board and principal, schools administration need to sit and look at the act and follow the act to the T and seek guidance if they're not sure.
Yeah, and the bullying?
Yeah.
Bullying is something that, again, needs to be identified very quickly. And where the perpetrators are, you isolate
and
them.
taken seriously.
Yeah, you isolate them and get remedial help, and then put them back into the school society. If it continues, then
Stewart,
you do a shift.
I've heard stories of teachers who are saying things to children that are tantamount to bullying.
Bullying, yes.
Shockingly so. Like, I've been one to march into institutions and somebody said to me, it's okay, we've got this. So there are issues at that level too.
We're first human beings, and then we're teachers.
Correct.
And anything else.
What about the importance of mentorship for the young people?
Mentorship you'll notice that mentorship is very strong at the traditional high schools. Old boys, old girls are very strong.
The alumni.
Alumni are very strong because of that pride. Now, if the mentorship can be expanded, so let me use Casey. So Casey could adopt a school close by, like a Vauxhall or a Kingston Technical, adopt that school. So what our Old Boys Association could do is to shift the love, spread the love a little bit more. So teach those schools how to mentorship. Yeah, it can be done.
All hands on deck.
Is needed.
All hands on deck.
Our society needs it.
It's all hands on deck.
Yes.
It's all of our children are going to school.
Yeah.
So you can't sit down in your house and say,
it's no longer uptown and downtown.
Child.
Yeah.
You're going to be shocked one day when your phone rings and you say, how could that have happened to my child?
When it reaches your door. Yes.
So make we not wait on that call and do something about it.
Yeah.
Sobering discussion. Thank you, Stewart.
You're most welcome.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Stewart Jacobs, President of the National Parent Teachers Association.
Up next, we explore what a social media policy for public officials would look like. We have digital marketer Joel Numdarkham. I got it right in studio.